Hello, here we go. Um, this is Skye SMP. I played heaps on here. I've done a lot of stuff, but the server is about to finish, about to close off. So thought one more look at all the things that I created. Look at the things I'd do differently. Yeah, I don't know. Down here I've got a bit of a shulker chest monster. All the bits and pieces. I don't really have these well organised. It's interesting, this is just above to the side. This is where I was trying to keep a couple of villages for breeding and to keep the work table for the bed. And I was going to have the composter down here. I was using this to stop the villagers from being able to jump up. So they couldn't jump on the honey. But I gave up on all of this. So there's a tunnel somewhere up here that leads up to the world. This is where I carefully transported my villager to here. This is my wheat farmer. I've got a whole chunk dedicated. Got water underneath these glowstones. I was gonna put, I think I put a composter in one of these at one point, but the villager gave itself the bone meal, and so wasn't able to pick up seeds anymore, or started picking up the wheat, and it messed up. So there is no composter down here. I think I have traded with him. Yeah, I traded with him, but he's still, even though he's a beetroot farmer, he still picks up the seeds and picks up the wheat, but he's got no beetroot to plant, no beetroot seeds. So he just plants what he's got. So that was that little back room. That's his bed. See the star particles. Might have just seen them. There was stars. What do they call those particles? Those green particles. So down here, this is the first farm I built. This is a pumpkin and melon farm. Works alright, but it's driven by rails. I think, not sure whether I'd do it differently. So the rails originally just dumped everything into a water column there, but I've since added a crafter. So there's an item sorter here that's filtering out the melon slices. Everything else goes across the top and gets automatically dropped into the water. So the pumpkins go through. The melon slices go through this crafter. I've put glass on top because water came down a couple of times, wiped out my redstone. So by wrapping it in glass, I can still see that it's correct and working. But accidental water flow is not going to cause a problem. I've got this is where I make my obsidian, get my lava buckets. I just use a bucket to transfer all of the the lava over here. And have I got a water bucket? I do. Store my water there. And then transfer lava. These buttons stop the ground catching fire, burning you accidentally. Water down, and then I go along. Now I used to have a haste beacon. Somebody stole it. It's sad. I had my beacons down here, the bottom of this tunnel. I put glass here because a couple of people fell off my stairs down into that hole and died. So I put glass there to stop them falling down. But they used to have beacons to make me go faster. All right, so we've got the pumpkin farm. Underneath the pumpkin farm, pumpkin farm's just above there. I've got a kelp farm. So, double-sided kelp farm. I think I've got a little bit of glass. See through. Yeah. So, lots of observers. And here I've got an observerless bamboo farm. Pretty cool. So under the ground there's rails to pick up. Watching it go past. It chops off the kelp, off the bamboo. And this interesting creation takes the bamboo, feeds this autocrafter to make bamboo, not planks, bamboo blocks, and when that's full, it still spits out some bamboo. So you get bamboo. It spits out bamboo whenever bamboo gets into there. But the bamboo first priority is to go down. So it makes blocks, and then the blocks get fed into a plank machine. But I've got the split system again, so you get some planks, some blocks. So this is crafting the planks from the blocks, but some of it, this water stream splits it up so that you get some of the blocks go into making planks, but some of them go straight to this dropper that gets fired. Yeah, so when this is full, this fills up, and then some overflow into here, and once they're detected in there, that's when I fire the crafter. So keeps them full all the time. But basically, out the other end, you get bamboo itself, blocks of bamboo, bamboo planks, and that's all. and it gets put into that water stream. That water stream goes up, and we'll see the top of it later. Underneath here, I've got a mob farm. Don't know. I think the best way to show you is somewhere else. See down. I've blocked off most of it. Here, I created an automatic wood farm. So it's azalea driven. So this is oak wood produced by azaleas. The azaleas automatically replant themselves. I forget whose design this is. I think might have seen it on a Silent Whisper or something. But it doesn't work. If I run it, it creates this wooden block forms here, and if there's wood there, then the azalea will never grow. And so I haven't figured out how to stop wood growing there. But if I want it to work, I have to stand here, and I break that block of wood. I'll see if it's got enough that I could demonstrate that. This is where you fill the bone meal. Isn't any? Got one piece of bone meal. I removed the hopper from here because I'm too close to my farms, and if I put an extra hopper here, a villager tries to link to it. That doesn't work. So I can't demonstrate. I think I've got bone meal. Maybe we'll come back. But the idea is really cool that you get oak wood. You don't have to get saplings. Just by bone mealing the moss, you get azaleas. That creates. There's a mob farm down here. If I move close, get experience, but there's a trident killer there. The underground mob farm. Alright, so here's my what do they call this stuff? My netherwort farm, but I don't do that much potion work. But at the time I wanted some, so it's got here a cow farm. So I feed the cows up here. I'll see if I've got any wheat. Feed the cows up here. A little bit brutal, but babies get washed down here, and then when they grow up, they suffocate and drop their food, their leather. I got a snotty-nosed panda, and I got the snotty-nosed panda because I thought it dropped slime. I thought I was going to use this as a slime farm, but didn't work. There's now better ways to do slime farms with potions and things like that, but I've kept them in this exhibit. Unfortunately, I needed to run some stuff through the middle of their farm, so I've got overflow of a few things that creates bone meal for me. So these guys are just on display. Got a stone and cobblestone farm here. I would stand here, and so with silk touch I'll get stone. I can use my other pickaxe get cobblestone. And I made little things here so I can go in and check that things are still right, broken. So I think I can get under here now using the fact that I've got an elytra on as well. Alright, this one's an interesting one. This is a bamboo farm, but it's got an auto crafter to convert from bones into bone meal. You just chuck bones in here and it'll automatically turn on. So I think my mob farms produce bones. So grab some bones. Drop the bones in there. They get converted into bone meal, put into here, and then the machine runs, pumping out sugarcane. I've got a cactus farm. Just as the cactuses grow up, they automatically break. Don't get cactus flowers, but that doesn't matter. Right, so I've got an automatic sheep farm here. Check the shears aren't broken. I can do this now without an observer too, just by having the burnout redstone torch. Alright, so we've seen this is the back of the automatic sorter. You can see that everything flows along top of these hoppers. I think I do this differently. I put breaks in where I needed to put ice, where I needed to start the water again. I think if I was doing this again, I'd run the items along the edges of the hoppers and put ice next to them so that they would go past that way. But this is a pretty simple design. Easiest to see from the doesn't have a repeater in it, so not putting a repeater means it's quicker. So just a comparator into a block, piece of glass, and using the target block to redirect the redstone. The filters I've created some stick fillers. There's enough to pick up. So I've got lots of stuff in here. So the mob, there's a mob farm. There's a mob farm up there, above here, and you heard me just get some experience then from the Trident Killer. They get drops in via that redstone just there. All of those other farms that we saw come in here. There's a fish farm out in this direction. That's what's being fed in from the side there. I found that, yeah, if I can get away with water streams, do that rather than dropper systems. But there's a couple of dropper systems that I couldn't easily figure out how to go without. Inside this wall. Don't know how best to show. I think I can go around. So that water came up from below. Yeah. So inside there's a Trident Killer. See it from above. The very first thing I built, this tree house. being up off the ground means even if there's mobs down below, you can still sleep. I think getting away from mobs, being up, I forget how many blocks it is, 6 or 7 blocks, better than trying to go sideways. So there's one of the trident killers. A magma on the bottom. Copper minecarts underneath it. I don't like the sound of it going all the time, so I've got strings. The strings detect the mobs, and the movement of the strings is picked up by the observers. So it's not the fastest. It's just there to catch what it can. So underneath the ground, 24 blocks below us, are layers of bamboo with water flowing across scaffolding with water flowing across the top of it. So the scaffolding allows the mobs to spawn, but the water immediately washes the mobs. It's just a normal trident. Don't bother with impaling. I hold my looting one sword because I threw the trident. Get a little bit more. But there's one there. I used to have one up above here as well that fed into this one actually. That fed into here, but I didn't like the eyesore. So I've got these beautiful things around us, like this massive cherry tree, right? My lighthouse, my alien building in the distance, my home tree, a bit of a cherry grove. So I had this monstrosity up here, and I got rid of it, and I made it underground. So underneath here, those layers of bamboo wash the mobs up to this, and the bubble column rises the mobs, and they end up in here. This is a resin farm. Works okay as long as you don't go, as long as you're not seen, or as long as you don't go in range of it. If you go in range of it, when the creakings freeze, because you're looking at them, they are able to then be pushed through blocks. So best to stay down here. Again, I've put a light sensor on it so that it only turns on when it's night. So I don't have to worry. This is the top of my iron farm. I made it with a 2x2 hole in the middle, and I find that the iron golems get stuck all the time. They didn't fall down. So if I'm making this again, I'm going to make it with a 3x3 hole in the middle. I wonder if I go up here, see all the bed heads. So I've got 3 layers of bed heads. By putting the bed heads right in the middle here, the iron golems spawn within 8 blocks of the bed head. They won't spawn on this half slab, this bottom slab, and so they end up in the water and being washed to the middle. And this, if you all of the inner edge is water sources except for the 2 either side of, maybe if I put blocks there, you basically don't put water sources in those spots on every corner, and it doesn't fill the whole thing in. It does leave this one square where the water doesn't flow, but the iron golems are bigger than 1 block, so they can't stake out that location. And here is the trading hall. So most of them were turned into zombies and cured, so good prices. Trade iron, all the things you might need for enchantments. Using trapdoors to keep the villages in place. Someone's obviously gone along and flapped them all down, but really good to get early game is one potion, what are they called? One brewing stand, because then you get your early game redstone. Really easy. I don't use the enchanting table, but lots of other people on the server do, and so they've put that there. Now, we go back down these stairs. Got iron. Just a second. Alright, I think I'm back. So, down these stairs further, I have a iron portal. A fire generator to make an iron, to make a gold farm, make piglin spawn. So let's turn it on, have a look at it. Oh, my little automatic detection of when mobs come doesn't cope with the load of mobs. I have a button I switch to turn on, and I have another button over here. Hear the portal breaking. This is the top of the water column that comes from the portal. So just making sure one came out. Go down and we'll have a look at it up close. Pretty simple. Piglins washed to the hole, up the stream. They travel under the ground. You need to have that far enough away that the noise doesn't bother you. But it travels all the way around the outside of my iron farm, and then you see them pop out that back corner. Get killed in here. Need to slow that up even. Turn it off. We don't need any gold or lag. Noise. So I landscaped all this, and I've had to put torches around it because people kept on walking around with their ice frostwalker boots. But down here is where I had my beacons. It was the early game farm. I set it up with these. Underneath you can hear the fireplaces. Bees would, flowers on the opposite side, bees would all pollinate them. Right, so from the mobs, the two mobs farms, we get iron from the iron farm, we get gunpowder, bamboo from the bamboo farms. All of these things are auto-filtered. These couple here, these 6 in a row, if they overflow, if they fill up, then the excess gets turned into bone meal. Gets collected. So I wanted wheat to make target blocks for my other creations. So that's why I created a wheat farm. But I could probably do everything I need with the outdoor. Pumpkins and melons are really good early game trades. I use kelp blocks for my furnacing. The flowers mainly to compost, seeds to compost. Other drops from mobs, when the gold farm's running, then you get gold ingots and your nuggets and bits. Cactus you saw from the cactus farm, wool from the wool farm, bamboo, sugarcane. Right, so the excess, so iron ingots end up in there. If any time these fill up completely, excess iron behind this here gets turned into iron blocks. So there's one of them. This is turning iron into iron block. So to make it easier for myself, when this is completely full, does it trigger? Well, actually, when the hopper above it fills up. So it's always going to keep some of the material in it, thinking that it would not, just to make it, I don't know, makes it easier. If you empty this out, something else could go in there. It could craft a different recipe, start making nuggets instead of blocks. So I've got another wedge here, and it's turning sugarcane into paper. So again, same code. It looks at this top one. So it has to put out a signal strength of 3 to then allow this hopper clock to go back and forth, and every time that hopper clock goes back, it triggers crafter. Over here is pretty interesting. Complicated. I've got a furnace cooking kelp. Now I'm not using a smoker because the smokers affect the villagers. So I want the I don't want the villagers to turn into chefs. So down here I've got the kelp blocks come down this side and feed the fuel source. The fuel's locked by this system here. You see I've got no fuel waiting because it needs this to be fully filled up for fuel to come out, because if there was only 2 kelp came out here, I don't want to waste a kelp block cooking just 2 pieces of kelp. So I measure the furnace here, and it's got to be greater than this signal strength, which I worked out. It was like 40 or so blocks of kelp. So if there's more than 40 blocks of kelp, this signal's on and it powers this block and this redstone, which turns off these 2 torches, which allows this hopper clock to go. And this hopper clock's got got quite a few ingots in it. I've worked out that's the length of time that it took to smelt 20. Use up a full block. Under here is just a every time the kelp is smelted, this pushes the kelp out with a dropper into the water stream, and the water stream flows back around and up into the system. What you can see over there is the overflow for some blocks. I've got a map down here that makes the arrows form on my maps to mark this location. Over here, gold nuggets or swords, gold swords come down here. You get quite a lot from the gold farm, and it turns those gold nuggets into gold ingots. Again, simple thing to send it out. And this is another way down into those other farms, the wood farm. I think I've shown you the bamboo and the wheat farm. That stuff kept getting taken, so I put another ender chest down here for me to access if I needed to. This is the overflow, so all of the stuff that doesn't get filtered, I come in here occasionally and I get rid of all of the excess. But gold swords, for example, I kick them out and then I put them in this chest, and that takes them down and smelts them. And it's smelting based on bamboo planks. Fill them up down there. And I do that from the excess bamboo planks in here. Normally I throw out everything but the chainmail is harder to get. If someone wanted it, I thought that would be a good source for it, for mobs. But you get quite an interesting selection. Lots of bamboo. Still got this farm running flat out. Let's turn that off. Now it'll only run when there's a mob in there. Alright. This was a river. I sponged it all out. I created this dam, and I've got this overpass over the top. This is my fish farm. This is pretty cool. The fish spawn in here, and they often try to get away from you. End up going down, getting killed by the magma. But you can actually take a boat over the top of this, so it doesn't affect the people going past. Don't have any. Alright. So I used to have this whole area over here as magma. And I had a minecart running underneath it, but it was noisy and minecart running all the time, so I've replaced it with just 2 of these. The theory is the fish look for deeper water, so it's a couple of blocks deep there, and they're trying to get over here. They'll be caught by this one over the other side. They get caught trying to go to this deeper water. They'll end up in this one. Those flow back into that filter. And we use the fish in here to... These are all cats that I've gotten from the iron farm. So I have boats out, catch them. So the iron golems all end up in here, but so do the cats. And cats escape here, get caught in this boat. I keep enough cats around to reduce the number of cat spawns. So we don't need any more cats at the moment. But I would just move my cats away from the iron farm if I this was a fun house. We weren't sure what we were going to do on the roof, but liked these colours. I made a kind of a cake factory down here. How to get your milk from down here. Oh, there was an egg farm, but it's been blown up by a creeper by the. Lots of eggs still. Be hard to recreate that. We liked the floor too. Interesting. The tree down here. I've got, this is snow covered carpet, so a soft fall place to come back down. Instructions, so if you basically enter this stream and then head in one of those 3 directions, or if you do no directions you end up at the very top, but you can go out each story. So if I walk that way, when I get into the water stream I'll end up on the 1st floor. Follow the arm of this cherry tree, so we're inside the arm at the moment. Out. 1st floor, 2nd floor, 3rd floor, and penthouse. Of course, you can up to. Not a bad viewing platform. Out. Used to be a Trident shop there, but that's blown up. TNT. Castle. Meal over there. These fabulous. Rubik's Cube at one point did blow up, but I helped players. And there's dirt build. So underneath this, I tried to build a 2nd iron farm, finding it hard to get enough iron. Hang on a sec. High demand at the moment. And Minecraft just crashed. Alright, still working? I think it is. Right. I'll just show you that going up to a different level. So if we were to go to penthouse up the top, so we just walk in, go straight up. All right. It's turned to night again. See if we can fly. Or maybe we can look at the creaking. There is a creaking standing in there, but it's not dark enough night time yet for it to trigger. So a few seconds, piston or there's the piston with a go. Not seeing any resin drop. Let's go and have a look at how much resin's there now. So last stack's 31. One of the things I do, I halve the last block and I split it like that, so I'll know if more has come. Not seeing the particles come off them. It's like they're not being damaged by the trident. Might go to sleep. Or I'll show you how it fails first. Not sure how to fix this problem. If I fly up there. Get pushed out. Anyway. I think I've got a bit far away from them. Someone else was going to build on this square here. They didn't know that I'd already set up stuff underneath it. So I'd put these gardens here to disinvite people from building underneath here, but here. Feed button. Simple setup. But having it auto pop off the button for you. This was my secret entrance. So probably gather what's going on here. Notice it's a 3x3 hole in the middle of this one. to try and stop getting jammed. Yeah, so just below the surface, there's a spot for iron golems to spawn. I use these water traps. I find if a mob got in here, they can't get. They don't swim, and so they can't get in here. Even baby zombies. So I use these water traps where I want to be able to get to, but before I've got iron doors with buttons and so on. So here I go, another opportunity to have villages. I did some building with some different materials, so I've used masons and stuff over here as well. And I've got a zombie in the corner behind here. Can we see him? So I can oh yeah, messing about with getting them on the right sides. And I put the kill chamber for the iron golems. I was going to put other farms on these other levels. So I started clearing them in. Down here, simple lava kill chamber for them, and quite a bit of iron, plus another stash of things. I don't know, some of them more interesting than others. So I had originally built this underneath the cherry tree, but it was just too close to my other iron farm. My daughter had started building, was following a model to build this building here. These were all her cats. But she never finished it. I helped her collect the ingredients that she would need. This is my alien structure. Now, I'm trying to make something a bit alien, a bit standing out, a bit different. So it's a weird shape. Not trying to have more curves and smooth edges and stuff. It's got platforms, different colours, and it stands on water rather than like it's for the fun of it. I think there's nothing at the bottom of these, but I dug them deep down just to make someone investigate maybe. But this one's pretty interesting. So there was 3 floors, maybe 4 floors altogether. So depending on where you enter this water stream, you end up on the different floors. So if we go to this one, we're at the bottom story. But if we move across one, we're on the second story. Move across another one, so on, all the way up to the top. So I don't know what I was going to put inside here yet. That was I was all about the outside of the building first. Then go down. Oh no. And this takes you under the ground where there's a way out. Or if you go, I think you can. Oh No. There's no way out. So people would have to find another way out. I think you can swim or something and make it out the other way, but this entrance is back here, covered in grass. No, maybe I'll show you off some of the other buildings. These structures, this was going to be like a shopping area in here. Like a little bit of TNT's happened. TNT or creepers have attacked. So someone was building a shop, payment systems, and sorts of stuff. So this was about but this was the first building that Skye made, I think. Some resources for people. It looks like they've been raided as well. I created a subway. Maybe it's worth taking a ride on the subway. But then it's boring, isn't it? Under the ground. Not meant to leave mine carts on the track. Then way to get down up to it. It had another exit as well. So if you took the other track, came out over here, this was an experience machine based on silverfish. So someone's blown this up. Probably damaging redstone now. I don't know that I can solve this. I got it all. Little bit of knockback there. So someone was trying to rebuild. Oh, this is all blown up too. It was a big purple area. Lots of mobs spawned over here because it wasn't lit up at all, and there was this room behind all the iron, probably for my iron farm. We had a trident shop. Yeah, 3x3 piston door at this house. Courthouse, I think it was. It's broken. That's sad. It was a 3x3 piston door. It's pretty cool. Someone's doing some copper stuff. Oh, look, a bus or something. Combi van. This was a ravine. Someone's filled it in. So me turning a river into... We had music underneath here. Set up a little system, play CDs on repeat, but someone obviously didn't like it. Destroyed. It's still got some CDs in there, but it's missing something. I don't know. I can't figure it out. Picking up pathways is always the best option. Because put it back. There are some other interesting places on the server. Maybe I'll go back to my map room. A little bit of lag. Right. So one of the early on found a pillager outpost. So this is a map of the area that the pillager outpost in, and that's a raid farm built on top of the pillager outpost. That's located down there on the map. We're here at the moment. There are other interesting things though. Down here is a wood farm. No, it gives you prismarine. All the way out here is a farm for gunpowder, I think. Up here is where our not fortress, what's it called? The outpost, where you basically the end portal. The end portal's over there. What was over here? Someone created another farm. So every time I found something interesting, I would dig underneath it and put a map there, one of my maps, so that it would show on my map. It's pretty cool. Here's an up close to all the things. So I've shown you that alien. Something hit me. Where did that come from? All right. So why don't we try and visit one of those? So what I would do, just it's empty stuff. So tried to organize my chest. So one of these is a map, a map chest. And they're laid out like that. So we wanted to visit. I think this would have the is this map down the bottom here. So let's go and visit this farm. Take the map chest with it. Might just quickly get some more rockets. Grab some of this. Thought it was this direction. Now I'm not so sure. Must be. Right? Must be over here. Okay, so this is actually the gunpowder farm. Not finished yet, but there's messages everywhere. Yeah, see, I'd never thought that this size was needed, because it is massive. I guess it's fully so much work has gone in, but still nothing has been gained from it yet. So I've made much smaller mob farms to get stuff. All right, so let's map chat. Let's put this one away. That was down there. Yeah. Just a sec. I was going to expose more of the map, but this server's going to be closed soon, so it doesn't really matter. This farm out here is a pretty cool one. I didn't make this, but I like its design. I think from an XP perspective, and for what are the lanterns? Sea lanterns. Being able to get sea lanterns from it I think sea lanterns look really cool. That was so close. I thought I'd landed. It's been left turned on. I don't think that it's meant to be. I'm not very good at flying. I'm getting attacked by... Oh no, they're dying pretty quick. So, they are spawning. I think one or two of these didn't line up for me. When I stood up here, I had some not... Yeah, so I think it's over there. I just built a pillar where the mobs were spawning to force them to spawn chamber at the top. But going really well. Lots of experience. I can repair all my mending stuff. There you go, everything's mended. Chests have lots of stuff in them. It's probably better than a fish farm. To fund my cat obsession. Just testing. Making sure my mic was on. It is. Good. Anyway, this is probably my favourite farm to figure out how to make it. So, locating all of the positions where guardians spawn. I think Gruen did one in Java where he just set it up on the very corner one. Yeah, and positioned himself so that all of the spawns would happen just there. It's pretty overkill. Okay. Let's get my map chest out. Is there anything on this map? I managed to... The locator maps used to point in the direction of the other players. And I used that to stalk. Well, not to stalk, but to find people's bases. They would go miles away, and I'd still be able to find them using the cartography. I think you can still do it, but you have to make lots of maps as you go along. Every time you cross the map board. So every now and again you'll see things like this. There must be a trial chamber below here. Someone's found. So I'm just heading back to base now. I'll show you, there's a bigger piglin gold farm. I need to learn how to do these sort of sure that's not meant to be. So need to figure out how to do these sorts of killing chambers. They're more efficient. One's got 3 tridents in it. I think one of them's through. Side got still 2. Right, let's turn it on and see what happens. One of these. Yeah, so this turns on the trident kill chambers. Which we can't even see the trapdoors going down. Oh, they're the other trapdoors. Alright. This switch turns on the 4 portals. And I like standing over here because you can't hear any of the stuff. See, stuff's coming. In swords. If I hold my looting, I don't know. Maybe I haven't thrown those tridents. I might have been the last one to throw those tridents. I wonder whether you'd get experience. If the kill chamber's going. You can see a piglin standing there, so something's not working. I thought I could see a problem, but I created this collection. It's a bit messy. It's planks for smelting the swords. swords get smelted, the ingots go in, ingots get collected, gets funneled into two crafters, one that turns iron ingots into, sorry, gold nuggets into gold ingots, another one that turns gold ingots into gold blocks. Like that. There we go. What a good demonstration. Yeah. I didn't make any of the top half, any of the kill chambers, but I just built this bit here out the front, which is a bit messy. But again, putting glass over it to stop the water from washing away the redstone. There's fire somewhere underneath to burn everything else. Get. Collecting the nuggets from the gold swords. So these are all filters. Oh yeah, so that must be the rotten flesh must be being burnt somewhere. So 2 rotten flesh, 2 gold nuggets, 1 ingot, and then gold swords. Everything else. So I expected everything else to be gold swords. Yeah, so underneath there must be where rotten flesh gets burnt. Right? So that was the server. There's going to be another season. I'm scared that the rules are going to change and I'm not going to be able to play on the next server. I don't have a big enough following. But I'm so different in terms of my creativity. We'll see what happens. That's new. Green. Yeah, there's some cool things that were being developed. Someone was doing amazing things over here, but looks like they got griefed. This sort of structure, and there's likewise over here. There's another structure. Just looks really interesting, but I wonder what it was used for. What's the plan to build more of these? Cherry mixed in with it. Yeah. Go visit this green thing because this green thing's new. It might be a trap. Oh, it's a trap. Okay. It looked green from a distance, but gold and the blue diamond. Yeah, so someone's put all of their valuables down because they can't be bothered. Oh, because they know that the server's ending. This mountain over here got colonized too. What's going on? So this valley being turned into something else as well. There's a villager breeder. Plus little trading stations being built out. Pretty cool. This was a really cool looking house as well. But obviously either, I don't know, the owners could have blown these up themselves. I remember whoever was here had a secret way to get down somehow. But I think I saw them on below their base. Oh yeah, there's stairs down there. Maybe we could. She's underground base. It's probably trapped. Mine? I don't know. But it's interesting, these underground bases, because you don't know what's there or how deep it goes. Based on a copper. Oh, maybe there's one more thing I should show. In the end, we go this direction. Oh, I've gotten lost. See if we can. Right, map. Okay, so it's this one. Right, so I was close. Been a little while since I've been on this server. I just wanted to have a refresh of all my memories before the server gets reset. And see, there's little houses down here that have been made. That are also burning down. I don't trust myself when I go to the end and not look at the Enderman. Alright, now one of these that one over there. I think it's 15 or 17 blocks, and it's equal amounts of negative and positive. It's where I've created a shulker farm. Right? I have to see if I've got it written down somewhere. Just a second. I'm just searching through my archives, try and find where I put it. It's minus 17, positive 17. So let's find a portal to go back to. Right, this way. So I can fly back to the island, but I know that if I go diagonally, come across a beacon, island teleporter, whatever they're called. I follow all these pathways that people made. There it is. It looks like some PvP stuff has been happening here. Positive. So it's negative. Positive. Looking for the one with the wood on it, because I would have made the wood. Sorry. Obviously other people have used this too, so that wood landing that. Yeah, negative, positive. I can tell you the coordinates now because not a secret anymore. All right, I can see it in the distance. So I built it pretty close to End City so that I could get access to the shulkers. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 of them, and each of these is a pair, can be a pair of spawners. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there's 16. I've got 8 and there are 16. But these are in line. So I started with just 2 to 4 in a row like this. So these ones can still shoot at me. And I go down here and they hit the stands. Instead of hitting me. So I'm pretty safe. They're all hitting each other's. Every time they get hit, there's a chance that they'll duplicate. So they'll teleport away and produce another one at the same time. So it'd be good to have all 16 filled, and perhaps that would happen eventually. But I built up to it slowly. I had to make sure that even with the number that I had, they couldn't position themselves in places where they wouldn't hit each other. So I started with just 4 spawning spots, all on one side. and I transported 2 over here. It was hard to do with carts and see the powered rail coming up. Once I got 2 over here, we're further off the ground than they can spawn. They won't spawn on glass, and I've surrounded these stone blocks in glass. So it's pretty cool, and it made like a whole bunch of shulker shells that are just. Oh, I've spent a little bit of time here, but I don't AFK. Can't be bothered. It's all about making this work pretty fast. I think I can put diagonal ones in as well, but I reckon 16 spawning locations is enough. Yeah, see, I've got more already. I think there are 10 there now. I can see 3 on the right, 1 on the that's 4. Let's spin around. 5, 6, 7, 9 at least. Anyway, once I've had enough, I can't move up here, wait for all of the fall down. Yet where I picked them up from. Did I just come down here? I must have. Nine of them. I think in the time we were there, we got an extra one. I did try to teleport them back. Because now I'm effectively producing them. I tried to put a few of them through here. So I've made it so it couldn't teleport anywhere but right there. And then when I approached it, it would open itself up and be sucked into the portal. Got a shield over here that I would hide behind. Run them up. So they'd end up here, I'd climb up behind, and I'd break the. All right. See if we can find our way back. Oh no. That's not very good. Oh well. That might be the end. I wonder where my stuff is. I went through one of those portals. If I go to the end. If I break the bed, die again. Place it back down. Oh no, do I need to move it? Place it back down, but I won't click on it. I'll go back to spawn. Okay, so this is spawn. It used to spawn me up on that roof. So now with no gear, I can take my subway, my base. Just looking at my video because it'll have the coordinates of where I died. One of the advantages of streaming. So at positive 100 and positive 0. Let's go and see if we can get our stuff back. So into chest to get a spare elytra. That was interesting. The cat didn't make it into the... Yeah. I don't have my maps now. It'd say I fell out of the world, didn't it? That means all my stuff will have gone into the void. I don't have a pumpkin on my head. I don't have armor on. Isn't it a spare pumpkin? All right. My stuff's not here. 100. This was my coordinates. When it said I fell into the world. Minus 40, so somewhere. So down there, blocks of water. So this rail was me attempting to get my so a glitch. I lost all my stuff to a glitch. I hate that. Like I said, that's why I don't like netherite armor. Look at what's happened here. This caught fire, fire spread, and all sorts of things. And it's been repaired by just whatever blocks people have had on them. Pretty funny. All right. Oh, so much for getting my stuff back. Yeah, so I did drive a number of shulkers back through to the overworld. And I had a shulker farm positioned up in the sky above this water. But someone came and killed the shulkers. I'm assuming that's what happened. Otherwise, I would have been able to farm shulkers from here. All right, well, I think that's a tour. That's the final hurrah. All of this goes away and get to start again. Make new mistakes. Make things fun. I hope you found it interesting. And hopefully I'm on next season. And that'll be a lot of fun. All right. See ya.